Welcome to the Political Matrix News. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the Political Matrix. Greetings from the Political Matrix News. We're doing this on Tuesday. It is the 24th, last I checked, of September. That means we are, holy crap, 6 weeks away?
42 days.
Very close.
That's scary. That's scary. I don't know what's scary, that there's only 42 days for the people of America to understand that one of the candidates is a vapid, empty shell of a human being that has no clue as to what's going on in the country. And the other one is Donald Trump. And it's going to take every one of us to explain to every one of them how bad things really will be in her presidency. And it's just scary. We all have, guys, you have various word salads, and if you don't have them right in front of you, go ahead and pull them up. Let me introduce the cast of characters. In the red shirt, representing the Pensacola, Escambia County, Santa Rosa County, that's Scott Miller. And the gentleman in the plaid, I was looking for suspenders and also another hat as well, and I don't see either of those on Greg Fink's head. And he is in Gainesville, where, if the things keep up the way they're going, he could be the next head football coach of the Florida Gators.
Or my neighbor could be, or anybody.
Back up, Greg. Back off the microphone. Push the microphone away from you, okay? There you go. That's better. Or just, we understand you're talking to microphone. Can't see Scott's. Mine is right here.
Well,
And it seems to pick, it picks up all my burps and farts, so I got no complaints on that. So here we are, 6 weeks out from the election. And what are the polls showing us, Greg Fink? You're the pollaholic in this bunch. And what are the polls showing you?
I think the polls are lying right now, but right now they're showing Harris ahead in most of them, and they're all likely voter polls. And it's just Trump is only ahead of one Quinnipiac poll.
Mm-hmm.
That's from September 19th to 22nd.
Well, that's actually not correct. That is not correct at all. The poll out of Cincinnati that has correctly predicted 10 out of the last 11 elections since 1980 has correctly named the president. Out of Cincinnati, it's a bakery that does a cookie poll, and you get a blue one and a red one, and whatever you sell more, that's who's going to get elected, and it's right all the time. And Cincinnati, at that bakery, is showing a Trump landslide from their mouth to God's ears, I suppose. But so Quinnipiac, that is, by the way, folks, a university where you can actually get a degree in political polling. I believe that's the only one that you can do that. What are you showing there on the screen, Greg? Because I can't see it from here.
Yeah, we have Trump ahead by 1 point in a Quinnipiac poll of likely voters on the September 19th to 22nd. But pretty much, everything else is it's just, it's Harris is ahead, and by a lot. So it's very interesting.
Not by a lot. There's like 1 and 2 points. Those things are inside the margin.
Oh, sorry.
Except for a couple of them.
8 points, 6 points.
All right, there's 2 of them that are outside the margin.
Well,
yeah.
Anyway, she shouldn't be ahead by any place. The whole reality.
Well, there's an inherent bias in these polls to the left anyway.
Yeah.
So and it's not since they're likely voters, they're at least at least they're only a couple of 3 points. But the thing is that there's just so many rank and file people on the street that are just and non-traditional Republican voters that are readily telling you that they are voting for Trump.
Right. It is interesting how a lot of them have taken Florida out of the Trump column, and now it's a neutral state. CNN did, and Fox News did.
Greg, move the microphone. You're completely overdriving the audio. I can't understand what you're saying. Thank you. I just, you can have the best message in the world, but if we can't hear you, it's tough.
Just turn the game down, dude. Just turn the game on the mic down.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there, the polling is that way. And Scott, you're looking around, and analyzing. And what are you seeing?
Well, I mean, at least the polls that Greg was showing are likely voter polls, but it's really, I suspect that what we're going this election is going to be driven by a lot of new voters, about a lot of people who are either new voters or haven't been regular consistent voters who
Right.
finally are just fed up and have something to do,
Mm-hmm.
because there are so many non-traditional Republican voters that are coming up on this, between the Black community, the Latino community, and the younger people. The younger people, used to be really heavily Democrat, and now they're bragging about being tied. So I don't really see. I don't know. These things have a lot of ebb and flow in them. That these polls here are from a couple of weeks ago. I mean, they may have published them last week, but the data collection was over a couple of weeks ago. So, I mean, we'll see. Polls are a guide, and how we keep track of them, and the trends are more important than the momentary snapshot that we're looking at on any given day.
The reality is, I mean, with a guy who has had an assassination attempt twice, there should be, usually a lot more of a bump with that type of situation, everything else than he's getting. It's almost like the last attempt at the golf course didn't give him any kind of bump at all, which is very weird.
Yeah, and that's bothered me for a while too. I mean, these polls are not reacting like we've seen them traditionally react for that sort of a given sort of event, and I don't know why it is. It's probably because normally when you have an assassination attempt, the media all kind of rallies around the guy that got who was the victim, and just the narrative becomes this can't be who we are. Well, apparently the media has decided it is who we are, and it can be who we are, and it's just not right. It's so infuriating to listen to these people, literally just like Kamala did during the debate, complain about the temperature of the rhetoric and the danger of the rhetoric and all this stuff, and then fall right back into into the exact same thing. They are demonizing Trump like there's a prize for doing it. Oh wait, there is a prize. It's the leadership of the country.
Right. And it does not seem like they're not doing anything at all to bring back the demonization of Trump at all, no matter how many times somebody takes a pop shot at him. Even on Bill Maher's stand-up show that he was doing on HBO this last weekend, people were actually laughing about it. I mean, they were literally laughing about the attempt on him, and were kind of basically, you could tell the crowd's reaction was a little bit upset that they missed. I mean, people are not taking this seriously, period. And that's, it's worrisome.
Well, they'll take it seriously when Kamala wins, and then China and all of our adversarial nations, believe that they've got 8 years of just free reign to do what they want to do, and they worry about the threat to democracy. This is the threat to democracy.
Right. I mean, the closest thing that Trump says about Kamala as a threat to democracy is that she's a Marxist. And that's pretty much the closest thing. That's that's not really a threat to democracy. That's more or less his opinion on how she's going to monetarily handle the country. Because based off what she said in the past, it mirrors Marxism. However, her new stance now, since she's flip-flopped on almost everything, is a very quasi approach to her economic policy. That is, a little bit of Marxism, but a whole bunch of wannabe capitalism. But in reality, it's just a whole bunch of bullshit that's not going to have any reality whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, right there. I think that is worth noting. Do I have time in this segment to talk a little bit about the assassin or the attempted, the guy with the
Sure.
rifle in Palm Beach? I made a habit a long time ago of not talking about these scumbags by name, murderers, assassins, that sort of thing, unless they really, are part of the history book. I could not tell you the name of the kid who took the shots in Pennsylvania. Could not tell you because Trump was not dead. Okay. And he was basically had his face blown off. Well, actually, the bullet hit just basically the left eyeball and blew the back of his head out, but that's another story. So the deal is this: the man's son up in North Carolina has been arrested for child porn because the Secret Service and the FBI did a deep dive on his computer. So he's in jail and probably will be for a long, long time. The attempted shooter had mailed out a package to at least one friend that said, open if I make it, open if the other one said, open if I don't make it. And they talk about him wanting to offer a reward of $150,000 for someone who does successfully shoot Trump. Now, this is a man that has $300 to his name. $300 to his name. Where's he getting $150,000? Who financed his flight from Hawaii to the mainland and then a car rental that got him down to Palm Beach? And where'd the rifle come from? These are all things that who knows if the Secret Service, the FBI is ever going to answer all of this. They've got him. They're still holding him on minor charges. But again, basically it's assault with a deadly weapon. Don't have to pull the trigger, but you're basically pointing the gun at someone. That qualifies as assault. You get face to face with someone and you say, I'm going to knock your fool head in. That's assault. It's when you connect, it becomes the assault with battery. A lot of questions remain, and it's more than 2 weeks now, or not 2 weeks, it's 10 days. Things that should have been answered by now, not answered.
Well, I'm hoping Ron DeSantis and will release what he can from the FDLE, because the FDLE is going to have an investigation. And the things that you're talking about are state charges. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the federal charges are going to be. I know there's going to be a federal gun charge, and you're right. I mean, there are minor things that they can hold him on, but it's just a placeholder to justify him being in prison while they write up what I'm sure will be lengthy indictment.
Yeah, and then they're going to stack it, so he'll be away for 30 years. I mean, John Hinckley, who hit the president, who destroyed Jim Brady and hit two other guys, he's out, but it did take almost 40 years, and he is a freaking, I was going to say mental case, that's putting it mildly. He is a basket case, a head case, but he's out. Both the women, Squeaky Fromm and Sarah Jane, what's her face, are both out, and they're the ones who took shots at Jerry Ford. So we'll just see what else pops up on that. This is the time where we ask for your solicitation. No, we're doing the soliciting. We need your help, and it's pretty simple and straightforward. To keep this going, we have to have a certain number of likes, and it's real easy just to click right there, like, yeah, there you go, and then a share, really good, and subscription. And when you forward it along to say, hey, these three guys are talking crap about politics like you won't believe, and have them do the very same thing. We need the force multiplier. It's really important to keep us up and running. I'm not worried about the advertisers yet. They'll show up. They will. They always do, because when you have a better mousetrap, mice have a tendency to avoid you. Scott, anything else? We were talking earlier about how slow news cycle is. Anything else that's shown up on your radar?
Well, I mean, I don't want to get too far away from the likes and share things, because the because of what we say, we're not just hacks in garages. We actually have over 30 years in direct experience in politics and media, and we know that we know the story that you need to hear. The problem is that when we use the words that we have to use to tell the story, the algorithms work against us. So for you to keep getting this content, we got to have those likes and shares to build that brand up, because otherwise all you're going to get is the same recycled little sound bites from the media. and half the time, especially through some of these broadcasting systems, that's a script that they send to every station. If you want to hear the truth, you want to hear the backside perspective, you got to support us. Now, as far as things things in the media, one of the things that popped me up the other day was this program in California to give $25,000 to illegal aliens so that they can buy a home here, because home ownership is the American dream. Well, why don't you start supporting the Americans to have the American dream? Because all they're doing so far is killing it. They're killing the American dream step by step, just to score political points. All this is, all the hatred that you see, the ginning people up and making people feel like they're being heroic, has nothing to do with solving problems and everything to do with raising money and keeping themselves in power. The more they can keep people fighting and thinking that they're being heroic, the more money they'll make and the more they'll stay in power. And that's the actual agenda.
Absolutely true. Now, the Oprah Winfrey interview that Kamala did a couple of weeks back, the question was, what will you do to lower the cost of living? Okay. And it went like this, if I can read this correctly. And Kamala going, in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been. And we need to deal with that. And that is how, my friend, she is going to lower the high cost of living. I am not the English student that I once was when I learned how to diagram sentences with the adjective, the adverb, the noun, the verb, and the pronoun. And I think, what's the other one? The advil? I can't remember. It's been a long time. But if you diagram that sentence, you would find out that it meant absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I think that's very indicative of where things are in the campaign. America loves whatever's new, whatever's exciting, and therefore that's why Kamala Harris is where she is in the catbird seat. At last report, which was about 10 o'clock this morning, the Trump and Vance campaigns have done a total of 56 or 57 interviews, and Kamala Harris and Tim, what's-his-face, have done about 18. And I think 18 is a very generous number. Tim must be doing a lot of talking on the side, because she sure as hell ain't. She sure, yeah, that just does it.
And the few interviews that Waltz and Harris do, they're practically rallies themselves. They're so with supporters who are friendly. They don't get challenged on anything. And basically, it's like during the debate, they would ask Donald, "Why are you such a piece of shit?" And then when we stumble around a little bit, then they'd go to Kamala, and they wouldn't say, "Well, are you a piece of shit?" It's, "What do you think about him being such a piece of shit?" I mean, exactly. It's not a debate. This is the most ridiculous thing, and it's just obscene that people aren't calling them out on these things.
It's a beauty pageant.
It ain't even a beauty pageant. They're attempting a coronation. I mean, they're already successfully, conducted a coup, and that the media was entirely complicit with, and now they're trying to have a coronation on top of that.
Yeah, it's just a word salad kind of day. It's a word salad kind of presidency, and I mean, it's a mess. I mean, basically, the polls are basically similar to a word salad. You just throw everything up and see where the hell everything lands, and that's what worries me. I mean, the people have got to get out. They have got to step up and get out and vote. Sign up absentee, vote early, vote, period. I mean, and that's what the people need to do on the Republican side. Don't worry about if you don't like Trump. Kamala is horrible. Or Kamala is horrible. And the agenda she has, that she's trying to bring to America, is not going to do anything but stifle everything we're doing.
Honestly, I would be happy if they would just start, compel her to answer some questions. I mean, if you want to be a Kamala Harris voter, fine. But make her do the work, make her answer the questions, and speaking and vomiting out, meaningless sentences is not answering the question.
No.
Make her answer the question, because you think she's going to do what you want her to do, but maybe when you hear her actual plan, you'll understand she's not. She's not there to do anything but benefit Kamala, and she never has been.
True. Absolutely true. And therein
somebody said that her
lies.
response to, I have a question. You watched the Oprah interview with her, correct?
Yep.
Whenever Oprah asked her about a gun, about her owning a gun, what did she say? Did she really say, if somebody breaks in my house, they're going to get shot?
Yeah,
Yep.
she did.
She did say that.
She did say that, and there's a lot of speculation of what kind of gun that she might have. But the problem is it's hilarious that she would say that, because she's
So
actually
hypocritical.
It's funny that she says it. I mean, she's correct that if someone breaks in her house, they're going to get shot, but it's going to be some Secret Service agent, not her.
Exactly.
I would like to know when the last time either her or Doug have shot, if they are actually gun owners. When was the last time you shot a gun? What kind of gun was it? When did you go to an indoor range? You go to an outdoor range? What did you do? Because I will be willing to bet any amount of money. It has been years, probably when she was in California as the Attorney General, so that she could get qualified. In order for the state to give her a gun, she probably had to go through a little bit of range time, and that's probably the last time she picked the sucker up, if she still has it.
Right.
I understood. I don't disagree with that at all. And I think we would all be very surprised. But a lot of politicians join the NRA so they can get the backing of the NRA. And there's that. Hey, we joined so we can say, hey, we're members now. Yay, us. That's all. That's all.
Yeah,
I think right now the assault weapons ban is back on the table. It looks like for the next session. I don't think it'll last very long, but
well, I mean, I think that her support, her support of guns lasts just as until the next person says something negative to her. With all of her changing accents, the way that she gets in front of random crowds and adopts suddenly a new way of speaking that she thinks is going to be appealing to them.
It reminds you of Hillary.
Well, it reminds you of Hillary, but what it also is a sign of someone who needs other people needs the approval of other people.
Right.
It's a weak-spirited thing. If she can't be herself, then why do you think that she's going to be not manipulable by almost anyone? She's going to do what it takes to get what Kamala wants for Kamala and Kamala's family. Basically, all you got to know to know who she is listen to how the accusations that she makes about Trump, because virtually every word that comes out of her mouth about Trump is something she's guilty of.
All right, yeah. I hear our outro music running, and on that happy thought, we'll take a break. And this is the Political Matrix News. On behalf of Scott and Greg, I am Rob, and we do appreciate you joining us. We would like a like and maybe a share and absolutely a subscription. You got to do that so we get to keep doing this. Thanks for joining us on the Political Matrix News. Where's